Office of the Auditor General, public money, public resources, unauthorized expenditure, and these definitions, Honorable Speaker, have a bearing on the issues that were touched on by the court that shall be, or rather the Auditor General shall be the accounting officer and staff appointed by the Auditor General. And it is worth noting that Section 4.2 of the Public Audit Act was declared unconstitutional because it provided that the Office of the Auditor General was to comprise of the Auditor General as a statutory head and the other staff appointed by the Auditor General as may be delegated in Articles 234 of the Constitution, and this is what the court or Justice Muita did find to have been unconstitutional. And large reason that Section 4.2 of the Act resulted in an unconstitutional effect of reducing the constitutional office of the Auditor General into a statutory office. Therefore, Honorable Speaker, the amendments that we are seeking to do now under this clause 2 and 3 are to ensure that the constitutionality of the office of the Auditor General is not reduced. A constitutional office and the Auditor General will continue acting as a constitutional office, largely to safeguard the independence and autonomy of that office, the office holder and the office of the Auditor General. Honorable Speaker, if you look at Clause 4, it amends Section 5 again of the Act on qualification of the for appointment of the Auditor General to include an additional qualification requirement for the Auditor General being a practicing member of good standing of a professional body of accountants recognized under the Accountants Act. This is important, Honorable Speaker, because we need to hold people who hold office in the office of the Auditor General accountable to a professional body. And therefore seeking to ensure that whoever is appointed to this office, part of the qualifications that you need to is a member of good standing of a professional body like ISPAC, anything. But for an accountant, 1 + 1 must be 2, and it cannot be anything else. And to safeguard public interest and public resources, we cannot have professions where 1 + 1 does not add up to 2. The people who we must entrust with ensuring The bill, it amends Section 7 of the Act on the function power provide for an additional function for the Auditor General that meant by the Auditor General. It further aligns the responsibilities with the Constitution so that, again, to cure the problems that the good judge, deemed find to be unconstitutional. Honorable Speaker, this was a very detailed bill, and by and large, because it is aligning to what was found to have been unconstitutional by the courts, then, Honorable Speaker, we have nothing much really to debate on, because what the courts did find constitutional to support, and as I indicated, the Finance and National Planning Committee did consider all these provisions and tabled a report before the House, which by and large agrees with what the court found. And we have no choice than to agree with them also, and therefore beg to move, Honorable Speaker, and urge the House to support, because the Office of the Auditor General and that of the Comptroller of Budgets are two very critical offices under the architecture of the 2010 Constitution, because these are the two offices that ensure that, as we are seeking even to further amend in the role and functions of the Office of the Auditor General, that ensure that public resources are utilized not just in an accountable and transparent manner, that as we are now even further enriching to ensure there is not only transparency, they apply public resources are applied in an accountable way, in an efficient way, in a manner that we can find value for money in how we apply public resources. And more importantly, Honorable Speaker, that these public resources applied are then done pursuant to set policies that effectively improve the lot of the Kenyan people. Honorable Speaker, if we fail to do that, and if we fail to empower the Office of the Auditor General, man is bound by temptations, Honorable Speaker, and those who are charged with the responsibility of applying public resources may get tempted. But there must be something at the end of the day that tells you, however much you are tempted, if you touch public resources, there is somebody watching and superintending over those resources, and they will do it in a way to ensure that you did not only apply resources effectively and efficiently, but in a sustainable manner to ensure that the development of a country is safeguarded, and more importantly, to ensure that there is also value for money in the application of public resources. Because when there is no value for money, then, Honorable Speaker, we end up applying so much of our public resources in projects that at the end of the day don't give value to the Kenyan people and the Kenyan taxpayer. Honorable Speaker, we have been told Kenyans absolutely have near down the line, because money was not applied, public resources were not applied in an efficient, accountable, transparent, effective, and in a manner that ensured there was value for money, then a year down the line, a road that was done to bitumen standards, when it was Amaram Road, Honorable Speaker. And we have seen it across the board, Honorable Speaker. Auditor General also scrutinizes how resources, public resources, are applied by state officers who are charged with that responsibility. Members of Parliament, all these members of Parliament, bear the brunt of the public when roads are impassable. I witnessed, Honorable Speaker, the other day, an MCA, I think in Mlolongo, in Mavoko, being forced by members of the public, his own constituents, to walk through ponds of water because they feel it is the MCA who is failing them. But they forget the MCA, as a member of the county assembly, has no resources to apply in the implementation of government projects. If anything, the person they should have made to walk through that pond of water is either their governor or the county executive member in charge of roads. Tomorrow, Honorable Speaker, these members of Parliament will be made to walk through ponds of water again by their constituents who fail to understand that it is the same public who have told us, even under NGCDF or even under the roads board money for the fuel levy, move out of implementation. The courts have agreed with everybody that members of Parliament, their key responsibilities revolve around legislating what we are doing now with the Office of the Auditor General. 2, oversight. 3, representation. And I have seen members even this afternoon representing their people saying that there are certain roads, billions, hundreds of billions have been allocated to a few counties and not other counties and constituencies, Honorable Speaker. And I see the member for Alda is saying Kiambu. Kiambu, I can tell her, the billions you will see in Kiambu are trunk roads. The highway running from Westlands, from ABC, all the way to Rironi. You'll find you'd imagine roads in Kiambu are all done. They are not. That road runs from Westlands constituency through Dagoretti North, through Dagoretti South, through Kabete, Kikuyu, Limuru, and terminates just before you get to Naivasha. And, Honorable Speaker, I was saying that because we have been told and accused, and with tremendous respect to the former Prime Minister, I've also seen him add his voice to that members of Parliament must never be involved in the implementation of projects. And so it is for members of the county assembly to feel that the member of the county assembly is the one who should be fixing their road. Why is it today that members of the public in Kikuyu constituency feel that I should be fixing roads more than their governor, who has been given resources to fix their village roads? But they will keep coming to the members of Parliament, because members of Parliament are not just efficient and effective in the application of public resources that have been, they superintend in NGCDF by oversight through NGCDF. And so it is through CRC. If you go to all the 290 constituencies, and I have been around this country as we tangatangad, Honorable Speaker, and I still continue to tangatanga across the country, I can tell you, every other constituency you visit in this country, if you find a road being maintained, whether it is a Maram Road or a bitumen standard road that is being sealed potholes, it will not be accounted by a county government. It will be through the constituency roads committees, or through KERA, or through KURA, or through KENHA. Honorable Speaker, I'm saying this because I said I will not be shocked if tomorrow a member of Parliament is made to walk through mud by his or her constituents, which is very unfair, Honorable Speaker, because these MPs have no money to fix roads. But the people who are charged with fixing roads, those at KERA, those at KURA, those at KENHA, then implement these projects in a manner that is not competitive, that is not transparent. That is why they bid rigging in. Honorable Speaker, the only person we can ensure is able to catch these thieves is the Office of the Auditor General. it is only the Auditor General then, empowered by this bill, when it becomes an act of parliament, who will be able to ensure that public officers apply public resources in a transparent and accountable manner, in a manner that is efficient and effective in the delivery of services, and in a manner that gives value to the people for every coin of their taxes, Honorable Speaker, so that Kenyans can pay taxes happily. I don't know whether there is such a thing as paying taxes happily, Honorable Speaker, because I read even in the Bible, Jesus Christ himself had to tell the people that give unto Caesar what is Caesar's, and give to the Lord what belongs to the Lord. That tells you that even in those ancient times, at the time of Jesus Christ, people are not happy to pay to Caesar. They are not happy to pay taxes. But today we are saying, let us pay taxes, but ensure that we get value for our taxes, Honorable Speaker. Because if we don't get value from our money, then we'll find no reason to pay. And therefore, Honorable Speaker, with those very many remarks, I beg to move and urge members to support all these amendments so that we align the Public Audit Act to the Constitution and also align to what the courts did find as having been unconstitutional.